So yesterday we had the angel was telling us how great it is to do Mahamudra meditation, which is the subject of this text. And this is the most famous Mahamudra text. Sometimes it's called the root Mahamudra text. And so the angel was advertising it and said, oh, if you do this Mahamudra, then sooner or later you'll see emptiness and you will get a Buddha body. But that Buddha body, never think that that Buddha body is not coming from you, okay? So never think that Buddha body is just some outside thing. It's also flowing from your seeds, okay? And to think otherwise is a huge obstacle, you see what I mean? To getting it. So if you think there's some kind of Buddhahood that you're going to achieve, which is not flowing from your own seeds in your own mind like a pen, then that's the largest obstacle you can have. And then on those words, the devil makes his appearance in the mind and says, well, that means you would have to kick me out of your mind forever. And then he starts explaining why you shouldn't do that, okay? And then he said, by the way, I'm here because of dependent origination, okay? So to deny me would be to deny the foundation of Buddhism, which is cause and effect. So to kick me out of the mind, since I come from cause and effect, would be a big mistake. And but I do admit that the idea that I'm cause and effect, and you are the opposite, which is saying nothing exists ultimately, I do admit for that reason, one of us would have to leave the mind. Okay? You're supposed to say no. Okay, yeah. It's a wrong argument, okay? He's already showing his colors. You see? His first argument is mistaken. I'll say it again. I came into your mind from cause and effect. You want to kick out everything that doesn't exist ultimately. One of us has to go. Not true. The opposite is true, okay? Things work because they don't have any nature of their own. Things work because they are coming from us, not because they come from their own side, you see? So it's cool to say, don't think things don't work, and things do come from cause and effect, okay? I've been in Nagarjuna for the last few months, so it's easy for me. Okay, here we go. Then the angel says something, the devil is being clever, which is what they do. And she responds in an equally clever way. And she says, you claim to be cause and effect, but I don't believe cause and effect. Who's talking? The angel, okay? The angel says, I don't believe cause and effect, so you must leave, okay? He says, I got here through cause and effect. You have to respect me. She says, you're not cause and effect, even nominally, okay? You are not a cause and effect which is coming from my mind, which is completely false, okay? Her argument is completely false, okay? There is a cause and effect, and it's coming from your mind, okay? And she says, no, you're not cause and effect, even though you're coming from my mind, okay? And then we're kind of left, what's she talking about, Did she have some tequila last night? It's confusing, you see? Then that's where we're going to pick up. By the way, I thought this morning, I cleaned up my notes and I thought to send them to you tomorrow, okay? Anybody who wants, talk to Tim. And I kind of wrote it out as a flow, because the poetry is difficult. So I'll give you the poetry. You'll get the poetry, but I think you need some kind of commentary. I don't think this text should be published as just the poetry, because unless you're very familiar with Buddhism, it doesn't make much sense. You would get confused, okay? All right. Then she says, so I'm just as a note, I'm on verse 30. And don't look at your text, okay? Because you can't do both, okay? Look at it when you get home, right? Big chance of that. There you go. Then she says, there's a problem with your version of cause and effect, okay? Because in your version of cause and effect, when a cause makes a result, it does through some nature of its own, which is to say, fire is hot from its own side, okay? It's the nature of fire that it should be hot, and it's the nature of causes that they have a power inside of them to do something. And at this point in DCI, I would teach what we call the aspirin. You know, we would have a long discussion about why aspirins work sometimes and they don't work sometimes. So Connie can tell you what's the active ingredient in an aspirin. COX-2 inhibitor, okay? It took me like 3 months to learn this word. COX-2 inhibitor is the active ingredient in an aspirin. And when we teach DCI, we don't say cause and effect, exist, self-exist, we don't go there. We just ask the audience, is the COX-2 inhibitor the active ingredient in an aspirin? And people will say, yeah, it says that on the bottle. Then we'll say, is it active? No, it's not. Sometimes it doesn't work, okay? It says active ingredient, but it's a lie, okay? It's not active because it's only active sometimes, okay? Then people say, well, Geshe, that's the way aspirin are. Why do you expect an aspirin to work every time? Well, then go buy a car that works 3 days a week, you know? I mean, you'll take it back, right? But an aspirin, nobody takes it back. Nobody goes back to, what's it called? Walgreens? What's the other one? CVS, and say, I want half the money back. Half of them worked and half of them didn't work. You see, people always, because your mom taught you, okay, sorry ladies, taught you not to expect that the aspirin would work every time. You know, you asked your mom, the aspirin didn't take away. I can remember where I was, in the hallway, outside my little brother's room. She put me in his room because I was sick. And I remember asking my mom, you know, the aspirin didn't work. Maybe I should take some more. And she gave me another one. And then she gave me, what do you call it, cloth on my head? She said, try this, you know. I said, well, just give me another aspirin. She says, then she said a deadly thing to me. She said, what? Sometimes they don't work. Don't expect them to work all the time. And then at that moment, your mother had the devil in her mind, okay? Like it was the devil talking, you know? Don't expect things to work every time, you know? That's not how life works. And because of mother saying that, the whole world is satisfied with things that don't work every time. And we think it's unreasonable to expect things to work every time. So the problem here with the devil, when he says, I come from cause and effect, and she says you don't, she means you don't come from causes that work from their own side. You see, got it? Okay? He has already kind of agreed to the pen. He's already agreed that individual items come from me, but he didn't get to step 2, okay? Which is that the interaction between things is also coming from you, which means an aspirin may not work all the time, okay? There's no thing in cause and effect which is inside the cause that makes it do something, okay? So it's a second level of emptiness understanding. You start with static objects. By the way, I took home somebody's pen last night, and I felt guilty. I don't want to not have pens the rest of my life. Okay, thank you. Once you get to understanding that individual objects are coming from your seeds, then the second stage of understanding is that the interaction between those objects is also coming from your seeds, okay? So where he's at, he's kind of saying, okay, I understand the pen, but, you know, when something causes something else, when you take an aspirin and your headache goes away, that comes from the aspirin. Got it? Okay? That's where they're stuck, and that's why she can say with impunity, you are cause and effect, but not really. Okay? You got that right, but you're still wrong. Okay? Because he feels like the cause has something in it that makes the result happen. And then you can go study Nagarjuna for the rest of your life. And he spent his whole life explaining why causes don't cause results, okay? All right. Verse 31. Your version of cause and effect could never change, okay? Aspirin would always stop headaches, and no one would get headaches, and things would never change. Verse 32. It would be immutable, self-standing, never stopping, okay? If things worked from something inside them, then things would never change, okay? Then she says, if you are living, who's you? If you, the devil, are living in my head in a network of cause and effect, of the kind of cause and effect you describe, you couldn't be here anyway. Got it? Okay? He's talking about how he got into her head, into our head, okay? And he says, because causes make things happen of their own accord. They have something in them that makes things happen, okay? Fire is hot in and of itself, okay? He says that. Aspirins work because of the active ingredient, not because you helped other people with headaches in the past, okay? Aspirins work. By the way, that's what makes the active ingredient active when it's active, okay? Are active ingredients ever active? Yeah, sometimes, but only if you've been helping other people with headaches, that's all. Got it? So she says, if the aspirin had something in it that took headaches away, then you couldn't be in people's head. Okay? If causes had a power inside of them that wasn't coming from us, then you wouldn't be here. Okay? Got it? Nick knows what to do. He just nods. It helps if there's a lot of flies. Then you're like, okay. All right. It just means he got into our heads through cause and effect that didn't have its own power. You see? How did the devil get into your head? Because he was there last lifetime. Okay? Well, how did he get into your head then? Because he was there because you kept misunderstanding aspirins. Okay, got it? You kept doing it, so he's been in your head. But the causes you planted to keep the devil in your head don't have a power in them. That's also coming from you. Okay, so she says, if my goal is to get you out of my head, you just helped me. Why? Because he claims to be cause and effect, but he claims to be cause and effect where there's a cause with some power in the cause, okay? And if that's true, he couldn't be there. And he would kick himself out. Okay? All right? You got to follow it here. Okay. Verse 35. She quotes Dharma Kirti. Guess the book. Yeah, Pramanavartika. The commentary on accurate perception. Okay? And she quotes that to say that, if things are cause and effect, they cannot be self-existent. Okay? So this is a case where they're defining self-existent, which is the big enemy in Buddhism, as anything which is not cause and effect, where two things don't rely on each other, where an aspirin has its own power inside, and it doesn't come from your efforts to be a good person. Okay, got it? Okay, then she quotes Shantideva, verse 36. Gakme ngula marekpar de ngume zimmayin, very famous. ACI class 10 or 12? 12. Yeah, good. You cannot understand emptiness if you don't understand what's not there. Okay? You can never understand. Shantideva says, don't go trying to understand emptiness unless you can picture in your mind what a thing would be if it existed from its own side. Okay? What's an example that's in a bottle that you buy at the drugstore? An aspirin that works because of something inside the aspirin. Okay? An aspirin that works because of something inside the aspirin is called in Buddhism gakcha. Gakcha means when you say emptiness, it has to be something not there, okay? The classic example is Geshe Michael, in a fit of generosity, takes John Brady to Cucina restaurant and offers to pay, and then reaches into his, this is a DCI example, right? By the way, DCI means, can you present Buddhism without a single Buddhist word? Okay, and I think in the last few months, the audiences have been 3,000 or 4,000 Muslims, okay? Who you can't say this is Buddhist, you see? And so what's the example of gakcha in DCI? It's a credit card, okay? I tell John Brady in a fit of generosity, which I often do, right? Don't worry, like Phil, right? What was it, 2 days ago? He paid my bill and I paid his bill, and the waitress, I think she took both of them. So I offered John, I'll pay for the bill, let's go to Cucina, you know? And then when we get there, there's a moment of emptiness, okay? Emptiness means you expect something to be there, but it's not there. That's the classic feeling you should have when you have emptiness, okay? The bill comes, I make a big deal out of it. I always say, give me the bill, because I want to impress everybody around at other tables, you know. And the lady gives me the bill and I go, and then when you go like that and your hand hits the bottom of the bucket, you know, that's how emptiness should feel to you, okay? Something's not there that you thought was there, okay? Cool? Now Nick's going to tell me how you go deeper in that analogy. Yeah, the credit card that I don't find in my pocket is a discover card that doesn't work anyway. Okay? Because emptiness is always the absence of something that didn't exist anyway. Okay? Got it? Something you expected to be there, but wasn't there anyway. An aspirin which? Beautiful. An aspirin that has something inside it that takes away your headache. Okay? Doesn't exist. Okay? It's not there. You go looking, you don't find it. Okay? All right. So that's Shantideva, verse 36. Verse 37, she quotes a commentary to Aryadeva's 400 verses. He's a #1 disciple of Nagarjuna, okay, 2,000 years ago. And it's a commentary to the 400 verses of Aryadeva it happens to be by Chandakirti, okay, who wrote the most famous book on emptiness. And he says the meaning of self-existent is that it doesn't depend on something else. Tell me what that means with an aspirin. Yeah, great. Oh, I could kiss you, but you're too far away and Veronica's here. Scott told me it's illegal to say that kind of stuff nowadays. Okay, cancel that. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, if the aspirin didn't depend on something else, which means if it didn't depend on me helping someone else with a headache, okay, it doesn't mean doesn't depend on its chemicals. That's not what we mean. We mean, that's what the devil thought, right? We're talking about an aspirin that would work without me helping other people with headaches, okay? And that's a self-existent. So here at verse 37 is an important clarification of what it means when you say self-existent. And it means it doesn't depend on anything else, but it doesn't mean depend on chemicals. It means depend on you doing something nice for somebody else. You see? Anything opposite of that is self-existent. And that's what emptiness is empty of. Got it? Cool? All right. Therefore, okay, since you, devil, are advocating a cause and effect where the causes have a power of their own, you and me are incompatible. Okay, that's a big theme in this text. Okay, it's like there's some married couple that can't stay together anymore. They just can't live in the same house. They keep fighting. Okay, their fundamental viewpoint of reality is totally opposite. Somebody has to go. Somebody has to leave. She says, even when you talk about cause and effect, you're messed up. Okay? Even when you talk about, you blah blah about cause and effect, but you don't even understand what is the cause. You think causes have something inside them. Which is, by the way, why did he put that in the text? Because all Buddhists who talk about cause and effect have the same wrong idea. Okay? Step 2, wrong idea. Oh, cause and effect comes from causes that have something inside them. Wrong. Okay, got it? Just nod. All right, now, then the devil comes back with something so cute. Okay, verse 39 is he comes back. Okay, so it's a separate line, so I treat it as a verse. Okay, the devil comes back. The devil gets to say his piece, right? Shenlu, tsupapoa, right? He gets to come back and make his defense. Okay, and he says, listen, I've lived in your heart forever. You're supposed to be a nice person. Have mercy. Let me stay. Okay? He's appealing to her compassion. He said, look, I've been here in your heart, in this Nick's heart, or anybody. I've been in their heart my whole life, lifetime after lifetime. Have mercy. Let me stay. And the first Panchen Lama says, okay, he says, never have that kind of mercy, okay? There's a limit to mercy. There's a limit to compassion, okay? Be ruthless, be merciless, be a terrorist against your devil in your mind, okay? No quarter. What do you call it? Fight to the death, okay? One of us has to go. So forget compassion when you're dealing with your misunderstanding, okay? Forget any idea that it would be something nice to give him some slack, okay? Don't let him say anything, okay? Like V says I interrupt people too much. Not too much, it's constant. They never get to say anything. Then be that way with the devil, okay? If he starts to say but, then say, shut up, Don't let him talk in your head. What I would hope you get out of these 3 days, and why we're doing the meditation that Tim did, and why we're doing the workshop that you're going to do after this, while I go relax and buy my Thanksgiving dinner stuff, is that I want you to crank up your sheshin, your monitoring of your own mind. I want you to Mahamudra meditation system. Number 1, you learn to listen to your own thoughts, okay? Because right now, you are in them, and you are not listening to them. You got to get some distance from your own mind. You have to practice listening to the internal discussion. That's the first step of Mahamudra. Mahamudra means get practice at listening to your mind. Stop being inside the conversation. Step away from the conversation and observe the conversation. That's step number 1. Step number 2, do not show any mercy towards thoughts of self-existence, okay? This didn't come from me. If a single thought comes in the mental conversation you're observing all day, right? If a single thought comes up that says, I don't like this person, they hurt me, then take the sword of wisdom and cut his head off. Don't even let him go on. Okay? Oh, no, but he hurt me, He decided, he said did this and blah, 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 Okay? So, in the text, this is a meditation text, right? We're not supposed to let a self-existent thought come into our mind during the half hour that you're meditating. But why did he make it an internal conversation? He wants us to do that meditation all day, okay? He's like saying, because of the title, because of the format, he's saying, look, I'm not just talking during meditation that you have to watch your tendency to believe that things are not coming from you. No, I want you thinking about it all day. I want the watcher mind tuned up. A Buddha should be super, self-conscious, you see? They should be almost dysfunctional, which is true. They should be, oh, Geshe, I'm thinking this, is that okay? I'm like, no, oh, okay. But now I'm thinking that. No, don't do that. Then you can get a little frozen, right? It can paralyze you. We all know Buddhists. The best Buddhists are paralyzed. The other ones are, oh, what the heck, I'm just going to think these thoughts. Okay? So he wants you to tune up your awareness of the conversation in your head and be merciless when the mental conversation goes to, I don't like this person, I will have to talk to them, I will have to, write a letter, I'll have to do something to stop this person, outside. I will have to take some outer means. When you hear the devil talk like that during the day, if you're a Mahamudra master, you like, shut up. Okay, got it? Mercilessly. Don't let him even get to a sentence. Be like Geshe Michael interrupting everybody. Okay? Don't let him get to a whole sentence. He's like, yeah, but this person is, yeah, shut up. He's coming from you. Yeah, but shut up. Yeah, shut up. Okay? And that's meditation. That's Mahamudra meditation. That's the goal. Getting paralyzed by your Mahamudra meditation is the goal of these 3 days. Until you become so dysfunctional that you think you're going insane. There's a very famous thing with anger meditation where Shantideva teaches you how not to get angry. And then the student comes back and says, it didn't work. In fact, it made me worse. I'm worse than I was last week. After I came to your 3-day teaching, my mind got worse than it was before. What does Shantideva answer? You were just noticing what was always there. For the first time, you're aware of how your own mind is talking, which is stupid. Okay, your mind's like, yeah, but Geshe, this person didn't let me. Shut up. Okay, I had a T-shirt. I designed a new T-shirt. It said, Scott gave me one. It says, shut up and do the 4 steps. I used to have a tape recorder in my pocket, and people demand 5 minutes with me to discuss their unique personal problem, right? And I was thinking to have a tape recorder that just says, oh, yes, there's a way to fix that. Try the 4 steps, And I've repeated the 4 steps. People pay, how much, Scott? $1,750 an hour at those special VIP events. Diamond Group? Depends on what country. They pay almost $2,000 an hour to have me tell them the 4 steps again, 10 minutes after they came out of the public talk. You see what I mean? Okay, so just tell them to shut up. Okay? But you can't do that unless you're aware of the conversation in your own mind. Okay? So the goal of these 3 days is that you become more sensitive to the insane conversation going on in your own mind. Oh, this person hurt me, or this person's not good, or the way to fix this problem is to talk to somebody, okay? Right? Okay. All right. So, verse 40, the devil's like, have mercy, you're a compassionate person. Let me stay in this person's heart, okay? Don't kick me out, all right? Then, 41, beautiful, he says, and in fact, you kick me out of this guy's heart, he's going to have a hard time getting the things he needs in his life, okay? He won't get money, he won't get cars, he won't get position, he won't get houses, okay? Without me to protect this guy, he won't be able to get anything. He'll be giving away everything, He'll be sharing his money with everybody. He'll be letting people sleep in his house, He'll be giving other people the salary that he was supposed to get. You see what I mean? We can't, without me, this guy's going to have a hard life, okay? Right? That's his. Also, verse 42, this guy won't be able to find friends. It's me that helps you find friends, you see? You ignore other people, you go get friends. You see what I mean? You have to, without me, as a motivation, you will not go to nightclubs, You will not go online to look for friends, okay? You would just sit at home and hope a friend came to you. I had a lady in New York. She said, I want to have a partner. So I said, look, you don't get a partner by going online. You don't get a partner by going to a nightclub. You get a partner by helping a lonely person, She said, why? I said, they're coming from you. And we had a long conversation. I remember it was shortly after I came to the place in Maryland. I remember it was like a day later. This was like 20 years ago or something. And so she's like, I got to talk about this, I got to thresh this thing out. And finally at the end of the conversation, she's like, so you're telling me that if I help lonely people, I will plant a karmic seed in my mind that a partner will manifest from my mind. A real partner, like kissable partner, marryable partner. And I said, yes. She said, if that's true, then if I lock myself in my New York apartment for 2 weeks after planting those seeds, the guy should show up in my apartment, with the door locked. Yes. I'm like, I took a chance, I said, yeah, that's true. She says, I'm gonna try it, So she did. She went to her apartment, she locked the door. Okay, this is true, unbelievable. Some guy knocked on the door. FedEx guy, okay? She fell in love with him. They got married. Okay? I'm not kidding. Okay, anyway. It's true. I don't care if you don't believe me. Now, so the devil is like, without me to chase people online, without me to motivate you to go to nightclubs, you're going to be friendless. You're going to be lonely, okay? If you follow this stupid angel that says partners come from karmic seeds, you're going to spend your whole life in your house waiting for someone to show up, right? That's his position, okay? This lady's going to paralyze you. You got to get out there and do it. You need strategies for relationships, okay? Forget this seed stuff. Seed stuff's okay for certain things at certain times, but don't go crazy with it. There's times when you should just go do it, right? That's his main thing. That's his main shtick, okay? Yeah, okay. Use the plant seeds once in a while for big stuff, but don't get anal about it, Like, don't think all day, I got to plant seeds to get breakfast, I better make a donation to charity tonight. I got to have waffles in the morning, okay? Like, don't go crazy about it. Be reasonable, okay? Who's that? The devil wants you to be reasonable. And the devil objects if you use these ideas every moment of the day. Okay? And that's the purpose of this text. It becomes a meditation because you're following your thoughts constantly, moment to moment. Okay? It's not an occasional, once every week you do a 4 steps. Okay? She's proposing that you do it every few minutes. Okay? And I've taught people like that. Noor is like that. I had a discussion with Noor in the Bucharest airport with all these Romanian guys. And she's like, Geshe, I said, how's it going? She says, Geshe, I got this. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I did the 4 steps, I got this, And she's like, yeah, I'm like, well, that's nice, And then she's like, and then I used the 4 steps on the 4 steps and I got this, And it was just like, after a while, I'm like, is there anything you don't do with the 4 steps? Like, do you go to the bathroom without the 4 steps? She's like, well, I haven't tried that one. But oftentimes you teach someone and they're more conscious of it than you are. She's an example. And her life is amazing. Her life is like a dream, It makes me want to try it. Okay. All right, verse 43. Devil says to the angel, I think it's a big mistake to think you're going to switch me out for somebody else, I don't think it's reasonable. Okay? I think you should just keep me here. Because you can't get friends, you can't get stuff without someone taking care of your self-interest. Don't spend all your time taking care of other people. There has to be times when you take care of yourself, okay? And that's who? That's the devil talking, okay? All right. Then, verse 44. By the way, we're warming up. We're starting to segue to the actual Mahamudra meditations, okay? You can feel it coming, because next he says, listen, many people have tried to kick me out of their mind in the past, and they all failed, okay? And even this person whose mind I'm in right now, they have made feeble, uneducated attempts to kick me out, and it never worked. So just forget it. What you're trying to do today has been done before, countless times. This person met a spiritual teacher, this person learned about things coming from them, they tried to kick me out, and here I am, 10,000 lifetimes later, I'm still here, okay? So it's kind of foolish to kick me out. Over the course of countless lifetimes, I have given my blessing. I have imparted my demonic blessing to this mind. And it's going to be this way forever, okay? Because my blessing stays. Got it? Kind of depressing. Okay. And then she's like somebody trying to talk to Geshe Michael. She's like, and he runs over her. You know, he says, even bodhisattvas have me. Okay? And that's true, right? Even a bodhisattva has a devil in their mind. Okay? They got the first big shot in when they reached the first bodhisattva level and saw emptiness directly. They took a shot and they damaged him, but he's still there. He says, listen, if you know anything about Buddhism, who's talking? The devil's talking, angel. If you know anything about Buddhism, I stay in the people's mind actively up to the 7th bodhisattva level. And you cannot find a person in this country, more than a handful, who've reached the 1st bodhisattva level. So what are the odds of getting rid of me? Okay? You carry me up to the 7th bodhisattva level. Okay? You carry me up to there. There's no chance. Okay? Up to the 7th bodhisattva level, you do have the seeds to see things as coming from their own side. Okay? Even when you're explaining the pen to another person and explaining why it doesn't come from its own side, at that moment, because of the blessing of the devil, they are still seeing the pen as coming from the pen. While you're explaining the pen for the 400th time to a person, they are still seeing that pen as coming from its own side, okay? Until you get through the 7th bodhisattva level, okay? It's like hopeless, okay? So he's like, what are the odds you're going to kick me out? You know, even high bodhisattvas have me. But bodhisattvas that haven't walked on this planet for centuries, you know, still have me. Okay. All right. Number 46. And by the way, the stain, okay, the subtle imprint to believe that things are coming from their own side lasts until the 10th bodhisattva level. Okay? Until the final moment before enlightenment. You still have a subtle imprint. It's called Nengen Limba. You still have a subtle imprint in your mind where you could flip back. Okay? You still have that tendency carved on your mind. Okay? So verse number 46, you know, people at the 10th bodhisattva level have an imprint from me still in their mind. What hope will a non-bodhisattva have? What hope would a normal person have of kicking me out of the mind? Get serious. Who's talking? The devil. And he's correct, okay, which is depressing. All right. Then he said, verse 47, Miss Wisdom, you only visit this mind occasionally. I have a permanent resident card. Okay, I'm a permanent resident. I've always been here. Okay, I have a green card for this mind. Okay, I get to stay here forever. Okay, got it? You're just a visitor. You're on a 188-day visa. Okay, or 182nd visa. You have to leave after those 3 minutes. You see what I mean? Okay. All right. And not only that, verse 48. Once I get into a mind, I bring my extended family. Okay? It's like that green card, one person gets in. What's it called? Yeah. what we have going on in this mind is chain migration, you see? When once I get in and I get my green card, then all my friends come in, and it's just like a big party in this mind, you know? And then he makes a list of his friends. Okay, ready? Here we go. I bring in jealousy. I bring in refusal to share your things with other people. I bring in deceitful behavior. I bring in pretending to be someone you're not. I bring in pride. I bring in 65 versions of mistaken viewpoints about reality. I have an extended family, you know. Once I'm in the house, you know, you're going to kick all of us out? I mean, me's okay. I mean, maybe if you meditated really hard every morning, you could kick me out. Maybe if you educated yourself with this poem, and then you worked hard on it every morning, maybe and worked hard on it all day, that you don't have self-existent thoughts. Oh, I'm going to get this goal by working hard, or I'm going to connect with someone who could help me, okay? Those are who talking? Devil. That's devil talking, okay? I want to get a certain financial goal. You know, I would like to put this much money in the bank, okay? Well, how are you going to do it? Then the devil starts talking. I should take more of my money and put it in the bank. Devil talking. I should invest my money in Bitcoin or whatever. Devil talking. I should work harder. Devil talking. You know, I shouldn't give away so much money. Devil talking. Okay, all right? And my dream from this class, what I would like you to get from this class, don't put up with this kind of thinking in your own mind even for 5 minutes. And that's going to take a high degree of shishin. What's shishin? Watching your mind think, okay? Watching the conversation in your mind, okay? Your mind has an ongoing conversation for all the conscious hours of your life, okay? But you're inside it. You don't have to be inside it. Step back, watch the mind talk, and object when the mind says something stupid, okay? Interrupt. Be Geshe Michael. Someone's trying to tell you about their dying aunt, and you're like, yeah, but do you know how many people came to Ukraine? Okay? Like, interrupt the stupid mind. You say, wait. Everybody stop. We don't get money by saving money. We get money by sharing money, okay? Just step in and interrupt, okay? Got it? That's the goal of this. These 3 days are not to be limited to meditation periods, okay? That's a mistake, okay? Outside of meditation periods, high degree of shishin, awareness of what you're thinking, awareness of the conversation. Step back and listen to how silly the conversation is, okay? How incredibly un-Buddhist it is, okay? In a well-trained Buddhist mind, because you haven't been watching your mind, okay? All right. Verse 49. I'm the permanent confidant of this person. When they have problems, they come to me to talk. They don't come to you. You're a flash in the pan. He calls her a flash in the pan. You're like a stroke of lightning, you know. In the whole 24 hours, you're like zit, and then you're gone, you know. Somebody can only think about you for about 30 seconds at a time. And then they come back to me for hour after hour. Take care of yourself. Take care of number one. Okay, got it? You're just like occasional generosity thought. Maybe I should, shut up. Let's take care of ourselves. Okay. Then he says, he accuses her. Okay, ready? He says, listen, I'm your little brother. We've been in the same mind for forever, you know. I've been here with you. I'm just part of the family, okay? I'm just part of this person's mind. I admit you could come once in a while. You can make your appearance for a day or two and then go back home. But, you know, I've been here all along. I'm not really different from you. We are both residents. You're just temporary. I'm here all the time taking care of the house. You know, give me a little respect. Don't paint me as a monster, okay? He says that. Don't paint me with horns, okay? I'm not such a devil. Okay? I'm just another member of the family who's trying to make a living in the mind, okay? So don't tell everybody I'm this monster, okay? I'm just another guy trying to make it, okay? It's very cute. He says, don't force me away from the warmth of hearth and home. Don't force me away from the family fire. I also need warmth. I also need life. I'm also surviving in this mind. Cut me some slack, okay? I'm part of the family. Then she says, yeah, be merciless. Be a warrior. Take, what do you call it? No quarter. Accept no quarter? Give no quarter. Yeah, just, if he starts to say but, then before he gets to the T, cut him, okay? Like, at least try. Make some feeble effort, okay? Yeah, but this guy Geshe, you don't understand, this guy is really needs. Shut up, just shut up, okay? Yeah, but, okay, at least make some, what do you call it? Put up a fight, okay? In a normal mind, the devil will prevail, okay? You get extra credit for putting up a fight longer. So fight for those 30 seconds, okay? Your mind is like, I should take the last donut. Yeah, but I should take the last donut. But what if I should take the last donut. Okay, let's take the last donut, okay? But you get so much karmic credit for the okay? It's a famous thing in Buddhist scripture, okay? You get like 1,000 times normal karmic seeds by resisting your bad habits, okay? Even if it's only for 10 seconds. So I always stand there with Veronica's pumpkin pie, you know, I'm like, I know I'm gonna eat it, but I'm just waiting, you know? Ching, 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 more good seeds. Ching, ching, yeah, okay? Okay, so just hold off for a few seconds, okay? And then those seeds accumulate. And then sooner or later, you just set the pie down. You see what I mean? But you gotta resist your bad habits for the few minutes that you can. And then go ahead and indulge, okay, in your bad habits. Okay. All right, now, verse 51. Most sexy, okay? Ready? I like this book, can you tell? He's like, look, Miss Wisdom, let's get one thing straight. Who are you to fight karma? You know? Even Buddhas have to respect karma. When karma says something's going to happen, it happens. Not even a Buddha can take away your bad karma. That's a famous Buddhist principle, okay? With all the compassion that's possible within a living mind, a Buddha cannot take away one iota of your karma. It's not possible to take away another person's karma. As you sow, you shall reap. And no one can take it away. So, how did I get in this mind? Karma. Who are you, Miss Wisdom, to try to do something no Buddha can do? Who are you to override karma? Who the hell you think you are? You think you're bigger than a Buddha? Okay? How did I get in his mind? Karma. By respecting the laws of karma, I arrived. Okay? This person refused to share what they learned with other people because it was inconvenient for them, or those people were irritating. Okay? That's why I'm still here. They collected karma to keep me in their mind. Who are you to say we should cancel karma today? Okay? Not even a Buddha can do it. Who do you think you are? Okay? It's a beautiful line. Okay? He's like, who the hell you think you are? You think you're better than Gautama? You gonna break karma when Gautama couldn't? I deserve to be here. I'm here because the person made the seeds to keep me here. That's just justice. That's universal justice. I'm here because of the universal laws of justice, okay? This person whose mind we're sharing deserves me. Who are you to cancel that, okay? It's a beautiful argument, right? Who do you think you are? All right? Now, our angel is not a stupid angel. Our devil is clever, but our angel is smart. Okay? And she says, these arguments of yours are a guy riding on a donkey to find the donkey. Nick, explain. Do you know this story? Yeah. Still out.
He's counting his horses.
Wait, who's he? Some farmer.
Yeah, some rancher is.
Come up here.
There's a rancher who's riding on his horse, and he has a certain amount of horses that he's supposed to count.
50 horses.
50 horses he's supposed to count each day. And he keeps counting the horses, and he only gets 49. So he's riding around, and he's counting, and he rides around the range, and he keeps counting, and he comes up with 49, and he's scratching his head trying to figure out where's the last horse.
Okay, go sit down. Yeah, okay, good. It's a famous Tibetan joke. Tibetan humor is really, really strange, okay? And they would be laughing. They'd be rolling in the aisles right now, you know. You know. Okay, anyway. You, Mr. Devil, are trying to explain to me the laws of karma that you accuse me of breaking, but if we are to accept the laws of karma, then you have to leave, because the real devil doesn't understand the real laws of karma. If you ever understood what you're talking about, it would result in your... What's that thing when they kick people out of their apartment? Eviction. Okay? Got it? Devil, you better stop talking about karma. You better stop talking about cause and effect, because you are dangerously close to understanding it, which would result in your eviction, because you cannot stay in a mind which understands karma. Got it? Stop talking about karma. Stop lecturing me about karma. Don't tell me I can't break karma that the Buddhists cannot break, okay? Because if you keep going with this karma stuff, you're going to evict yourself. Got it? I like it. All right. Okay. And by the way, the only person that's really inherent in the human mind is a Buddha. You want to talk about permanent residence? There is a permanent resident in the mind of every living creature, and it is their enlightened nature. Okay? Don't talk to me. Don't tell me you have a green card. Okay? The ultimate green card, citizenship, is enlightened state of mind. All living beings have an inherent enlightened nature. Okay? Cool? I like it. She's so sexy. She's like, stop talking about green cards. Okay, maybe you got a green card, but Trump's going to revoke all of them. You know, you can't stay here. But listen, this person's Buddha nature was born in this country, okay? When they were born, they had a Buddha nature, and they still have it. Who wants to take a shot at explaining Buddha nature to everybody? Okay, Word's going to do it. Come on. Quick. We don't have much time. These are really short classes. I'm going to make a statement. You're going to explain it. Okay, ready? Every living creature has 25% of their Buddhahood already. Okay, go.
Okay. Because there's 4 bodies of the Buddha, or they say bodies, but it means like parts actually. And one of those parts is the emptiness of the Buddha, which is actually the emptiness of all the bodies of the Buddha. So inherent in all beings is their own lack of self-nature, which is their emptiness, which is one of the bodies of the Buddha.
Yay! Okay. And that's the only person who's allowed to live in this mind by birth, okay? They're going to stay. You're not going to stay, okay? And then verse 55, okay? She says, if I have my way, then you're going to be homeless. Okay, it's kind of cruel language, okay? And you okay? Am I? Yeah. If I have my way, you will be a homeless person shortly. Okay? You will have no place to live. Okay? And again, it's this theme of be merciless with those random thoughts that come in your mind about how you're going to fix a problem with another person without fixing yourself. Okay? Don't put up with them. Okay? Be strict with them. Later he's going to say, when you're halt, right? Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. There's another A. H-A-A. Alone. When you're alone, you are more likely to entertain thoughts of fixing your problems with self-existent means. I will talk to this person, I will write this letter, blah, blah. When you're tired, hungry, lonely, upset, you can't think straight. He talks about it later. He supports halt. I found out recently it comes from the 12 steps. Okay? So, she says, be careful when you're hungry, lonely, tired, you've been upset, be careful. The devil will sneak back in. You won't be able to think clearly, okay? So in a way, it's almost useful to do jet lag to yourself constantly, because if you can think straight when you have jet lag, you can think straight anytime. You see what I mean? Cool? Like that. When you get strong enough, put yourself purposely in stressful situations to make yourself stronger, okay? Like, go visit the person you don't like and see if you can keep the devil from talking the whole time. And you won't. Okay, all right. Now, she says, you are a monster, and I didn't make you a monster. You made yourself a monster. You've proved yourself to be a monster. I'm going to make you homeless. Now, big segue. Then the way for me to exclude you from this mind. By the way, I had an idea in like 6 minutes. We'll have 15 minutes left. I'll take questions, okay? Any kind of question. We have a bunch of veteran Buddhists here. We have a lot of 3-year retreatants here. If you have any question about anything, okay, it doesn't have to be relevant. I know it's not going to be relevant anyway, so I'm just giving you permission. Ask me any question you want about your life, or about your challenges, or something goal you want to reach, or something about the theory of Buddhism, which seems to be, it's kind of bugging you for this last day and a half, okay? Like something I said, or, okay, so get ready, okay, in about 6 minutes. Okay, now, she says, it's time to discuss your eviction, and we're going to do it with the proofs of emptiness, okay? Now, big segue, okay? And this is we're going into the meat of the text, okay? She says, it's time to discuss your eviction. And what do you call evictors? What are those guys? They're police special police. The guys who repossess your car. Marshals guys. Yeah, sometimes they're really sweet. It's the weirdest thing, I have to repossess the car, I'm so sorry. No, don't touch the car. Get away from the car. You're like, okay. So she says, we're going to do some logic. Let's do some logic, and then you'll admit you have to leave, okay? Here's the first one. And then verse 56, okay? So I'm just indexing it for the recording, okay? Then people can use the text later. It has a number on each verse. So she says, by the time I finish giving you these proofs for emptiness, you will agree to leave. You will stop struggling against me, They are so convincing, these Nagarjunian arguments, that you will voluntarily leave this mind, okay? I don't know, but anyway, okay. All right, here we go. And by the way, inherent in that argument is a deeper argument in Buddhism, okay? You ready? Inherent in her comments is a deeper argument in Buddhism. And let me see if I can remember the metaphor. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Here. Misidentifying, right? No, it was. Yeah, go. Okay, but slow. This is confusing.
Yeah, okay.
He just translated this part, so.
It was a year ago.
Just.
So suppose you're walking down the road and you look down and you see a snake and you feel frightened, and you're walking with a friend and your friend you know notices that you're frightened, and they're like, oh, don't worry, it's just a rope. So they're telling you it's a rope, and then all of a sudden you feel better. You're like, oh, okay, cool, it's not a snake, I'm not going to get bit. Later on, you guys are walking back from the same place, you realize it was never a rope in the first place, it was just a tree root that looks like a rope. So the metaphor here, the point is that there is, you understood it to be a rope and it eased your fear, but that was still a mistaken idea. So you're using a mistake to heal your mind from one form of pain, but it still wasn't the truth that was able to heal you.
Good, good. Okay. Yeah, so I always picture it as happening at Diamond Mountain, and you're walking down a wash. Me and V were there. We saw a nice Gila monster one day. So anyway, you're walking down one of those washes at Diamond Mountain. You've just been discussing desert willows, okay? You've just been discussing desert willows, okay? Like, we were discussing them on the way here, right? We were discussing the difference of the desert willows. So your mind is on desert willows, okay? And then you see a desert willow root that looks like a snake, and your friend freaks out. Oh, I'm almost stepping on this snake. But it's really just a rope, okay? It's really just a rope. But because you've just been discussing desert willow roots, you say, don't worry, it's just a desert willow root, okay? Are you telling the truth? No. Does it ease the person's fear? Is it okay to do? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, morally it's okay. Why are we talking about that? As we discuss these famous proofs for emptiness, you will misunderstand them. The components. You will misunderstand the words. You will misunderstand the meaning. You will attribute self-existence to every single part of the explanation. In your mind, as someone teaches you the pen, is taking the speaker and the pen and yourself as coming from somewhere else, okay? Even as someone's teaching you that they're coming from you. Okay, got it? The same applies to the classical reasons with which we prove emptiness. While we're describing them in the next few pages, you will be actively misunderstanding the elements, but not the intention. You will be misunderstanding the nature of the words. For example, it's difficult to appreciate when you're getting a good explanation of emptiness that it's coming from you. Okay? It's almost impossible to think that while someone's explaining to you a proof of emptiness that you thought you've never heard before. Okay? People, when you explain to them that everything's coming from them, one of the most common questions we get in DCI is, how can I be creating the teacher who's explaining these ideas to me which I have never thought of? What's the answer? You shared what you knew about small things. All seeds are smaller than their results. An acorn weighs half a gram. An oak tree weighs 5,000 kilos, okay? So trying to help someone else a little bit understand about karma has resulted in you getting this incredible explanation of Nagarjunian proofs of emptiness from the first Panchen Lama in a school in Sedona. in an elementary school in Sedona. You know, you must have some kind of weird seats, okay? All right? Something that was born in South India 2,000 years ago is echoing back to you, okay? And while it's echoing back to you from your own good deeds, you will misunderstand where it's coming from, okay? Got it? The reasoning that will free you is enslaving you as we give it. Something like that, okay? Got it? And we're going to pick up there this evening, okay? So I have to start this evening with, we're just going to have 2 proofs of emptiness, which is kind of a slow day in Buddhism. And then we'll have, then we're going to go on to 26 wrong ideas about Mahamudra meditation, which by the time we end have brought you to the correct Mahamudra meditation by default? What do you call it? By a process of elimination, okay? Hearing 26 things that it's not, you can probably come up with what it is on your own. Okay, got it? All right, questions? Anybody? It doesn't have to be relevant. Yours are too hard. Okay, no, it's okay, go ahead. Hers are always the hardest ones.
Thank you for teaching,
Right,
Geshe.
give me your best shot.
Okay, so I'm wondering if you're using the same, you've just been talking about how we're going to misunderstand these proofs of emptiness. Have you been using that same trick when you say that the Buddha nature is inherent to us?
Yeah, okay, good. Venerable Utpala's question is, I made a statement that, you already have a Buddha nature, which is inherent, meaning it has been in your mind forever, and it will be in your mind forever. And that's not the case with the devil, okay? He's been there a long time, but his days are numbered, okay? Now, your Buddha nature, though, continues up to the time you become a Buddha and while you're a Buddha. So it has no beginning, and it will have no end. So I described it as inherent, but I mean inherent to mean constantly accompanying you and not that it doesn't come from you. Okay? But it's a good question. So I was using the word inherent to mean that you've always had it and not to imply that it didn't come from you. Okay? All right, next question. I knew you were going to ask a hard question. Okay, online.
So we have someone from online. Her name is Anna, and she's from Romania.
Ooh.
She said, Geshe,
Tell her we had a good time in Romania. It was a beautiful program there. Okay.
She's asked, Geshe, what is the difference between the gotcha and emptiness?
Okay, good. What's the difference between the gotcha and emptiness? Okay. The gotcha in my pocket is a credit card that wasn't going to be accepted by Kuchina anyway. You see, even if I hadn't changed my pants just before I went out with John Brady, okay, even if I had worn the old, grungy pants that I didn't change for a couple weeks in the house, okay, even if I had brought that credit card with me, Kuchina, being a reputable restaurant, doesn't accept the discovery card, okay? All right, got it? So that's the gotcha, okay? In the kitchen, what's the gotcha? A husband who, we can call him, give it a little more passion. Yeah, good. You got to get whiny when you teach it. She's one of our teachers. You got to do it whiny, okay? You know who's really good at that is Ayrton in Mexico. He's like, I didn't do anything. Okay, that kind of husband is a gotcha. The husband who didn't come from something you did in the past, the impossible husband, is the gotcha, okay? The emptiness is the fact that he was never, how do you say it? Never in the kitchen. He isn't in the kitchen, and he will never be in the kitchen, which means he isn't in the kitchen. Okay, got it? So the emptiness is the fact that person isn't in the kitchen. There's no husband like that in the kitchen. Okay, not possible. Got it? The gaccha is that imaginary husband. Okay, he cannot exist, but you can imagine him. Okay, so that's a big point. You can imagine him, but he's not real. Can you imagine a two-headed purple elephant? Yes. Is it real? No. You can imagine the gaccha, but it's not something that exists. Okay. I wanted to say something else about that. What was that? When does she perceive emptiness in the kitchen? Yeah, she's kind of talking to herself. Should I call him stupid back? Or is there any reason why I shouldn't call him stupid back? And then she's well-trained Buddhist. Because she's been thinking about it constantly, there's no time gap. She doesn't remember that he doesn't exist 2 days later after she screams back. Okay, in the moment, as a well-trained Buddhist, it comes on. Where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? And she's like, no, you... Okay, then at that moment, she's perceiving emptiness. Cool? Okay. One more, how are we doing? I was late, so let's go a little bit late. Is that okay? All right. Dr. Moore, by the way, Dr. Moore and his wife Bonnie have been grading papers, especially of prisoners around the world, for about 30 years. And I'd like to thank them for that. And helping with innumerable projects. I got one more for you, I'll tell you later. Okay, go ahead. Now he's scared.
So if a karmic seed ripens, a luminescence essence comes out, and it circles the object, and it says pen. So there's shapes and colors there. I didn't just put those there. There are shapes and colors there.
Lower middle way. This is called the raw data question. Okay, so the way that reality works is that another person is holding an object that has colors and shapes. And in Buddhism as well, in the Abhidharma Kosha, in the second chapter, the way the eye faculty works, the power of the eye, right, is that there are cells at the back of the eye that respond to light and shape, and that's all. They're just like bits on a computer. They can say black or white. That they are limited to that. They cannot make decisions about what's out there. So technically, your eye can only detect differences in shape and color. It cannot decide this is a pen or that. Okay, the eye cannot do that. In science, they would say the eye, the optical nerve, the information travels up the optic nerve to the brain, and then the brain gets these data, and then the brain makes a decision about what the thing might be. Okay, that's a science. Okay, in Buddhism, somebody is holding a long green thing. Okay, it's restricted to two attributes. One, shape. Two, color. They are holding a long green. In the case of Sheree's pen. Okay, you want to hold your pen up? It's a distinctive. Yeah, so my eye is detecting long green. Okay, that's all. That's all I can do. Okay, my eye cannot do anything more than that. Then a karmic seed opens in my mind. A small picture of a pen comes out, and it glues itself to that thing, and I see a pen. Okay, and if you meditate every day, you can see it happening, and you don't have to come to my class anymore. Okay, like I keep telling you what happens, but you can confirm it yourself. Don't just sit around. Don't wait for me to tell you something. If you study these texts well, if you get a good explanation, if you meditate every day, one day you will see it. You will actually see it. At what level? Second of the 5 Buddhist paths, at the 4th level. Okay. So Michael's question is, who put the green and long there? Yeah, you did in the moment before, okay? You did do it in the moment before, okay? Middle way school, which is the highest of the 4 classical schools of India, the lower middle way says that the raw data was out there. It was out there. And then my mind interprets it. So in a grand sense, don't think Buddhism's task is to discuss the interpretation of objects, okay? We're not saying Neil Young's song, some people interpret it as good, and some people interpret it as bad. Buddhism is not about psychological interpretation. It's about existence. Where did the Neil Young song come from? Not that if you're in a good mood, it sounds good. If you're in a bad mood, it doesn't sound so good. Okay, it's not that. We are not talking about psychological interpretation. We're not. We're talking about who created it. Who created Neil Young? Okay, got it? Yeah, so it's a great question. In the moment before your mind creates which implies that before you walked into the room, there was no data. Okay, all right. Can we go to the data of the data? Then it becomes endless. Then it's like 2 hours to get the pen going before you went in the room. And he's going to discuss this problem. It's called the endless regression question, okay? Which means you should have been thinking about the pen 2 years ago to get it to be here by now. Because you got to get the left side of the green and the right side of the green. Then you got to get the bottom of the left side of the green, the top of the left side of the green, the bottom of the right side of the green, the bottom of the right side. Okay, all right. One more question. Who's got one? Mr. Manny. Manny's up. When was the first class you came to? You're historical.
Check.
There we go. First one?
I'm just curious.
San Francisco.
18, just before the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right after the earthquake and fire. Yeah, no, a while ago, but it's been a while since I've seen you, and it's very good to see you again, and thank you for teaching. I'd like to go back to the earlier question about Buddha nature. And you said, it's inherent, but it doesn't mean it didn't come from you, which implies it comes from some karmic arising then?
Yeah.
And if it's a karmic arisings are generally not unchanging things.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah?
Okay,
and
good
so
question.
there's this little discontinuity that I have around that.
Yeah, and that's why we take questions, okay? Because it's a good question, and it's a famous question, and it's coming up in this text. They're going to discuss it in this text. But I'll what do you call it? Just in case we all die tonight, let's cover it, okay? So there's supposed to be like 3 unchanging things in the universe. Chunam sakche sapame lama tobe duchidim sache kanche dera lasana kundu gebugo same langi demodan dume chenam sunyante abidama kosha dume chenam sunyante. There are 3 unchanging things in the universe. What are they? Empty space, which we're going to discuss in this text if we get there. Secondly, meaning the end of something happening to you forever. Okay? At a certain point, in understanding the pen, it is impossible to go to a lower birth ever again. Why does Geshe Michael keep repeating the pen? Okay? At a certain point, in understanding the pen, it is impossible to take a lower birth ever again. Okay? Maybe I should teach it like 3 times every time I give a talk. Okay? Then there's other cessations you reach by seeing emptiness directly. Those are the 3 things that cannot change. But emptiness is generally included in there. Okay? So, if emptiness is something that's unchanging, that means it cannot be coming from a seed, because anything that comes from a seed shows a sine wave. You see? It grows, while the seed is asserting its power. And then as the seed tires out, the thing ends. And so all created things, all things that come from seeds, show this sine curve, okay? So what man is saying is, if emptiness is also coming from my mind, then how is it that it can be unchanging? And the classic answer is to point to the Treveni fountain in Rome, okay, right? Ben Gomick probably knows. I don't know, I was in Rome, we gave a talk in Rome, and they take you to some famous fountain, and it looks like just some old tired Tlaquepaque fountain. And, you know, you're like, yeah, okay. Then you try to find a pizza place. Anyway, the shape of that, or what's that thing at Yosemite? Yeah, when Old Faithful goes off, the water comes up and it splits and it goes to each side, okay? So if you took 3 photographs in a row, the outline of the water would be this mushroom shape, okay? So the water, what do you call that thing? The geyser is being fed by new seeds, but the outline doesn't change, okay? And that's how they explain emptiness. So emptiness is flowing from my seeds, like all other objects in the universe. But those seeds are always constant, okay? The shape they make, which is the lack of a husband who didn't come from me, is always the same. Huh? I didn't catch you. It's constant, but constancy doesn't imply inherency. Because you can have patterns that remain the same without being not coming from you, without not coming from you, okay? Got it? Really, I'm not just being cute. It's true, okay? The pattern is unchanging. Emptiness always looks the same, even though it's coming from you. And by the way, is the emptiness of something eternal? Is it permanent? Why? Yeah, when the thing goes out of existence, the emptiness, when the husband dies, the emptiness of the husband goes out of existence, okay? So it's a mistake to call emptiness permanent, and many Buddhist texts mistranslate it. So if you open a book, people are always giving me Buddhist books, I don't know why. Bad translations. It's inevitably, just before I get on a plane, they hand me a heavy translation, you know. And then I'm like, well, thank you, you know. Then after I get through passport control, I open it. It's called the, what do you call that? Lancome test? Because there's always a Lancome display right after the passport control. So I pause in the Lancome, I open it up, and if it says emptiness is permanent, I toss the book. Then I don't feel guilty. I just toss the book. Sometimes I leave it on the Lancome display, you know. Got it? Okay. So, yeah, emptiness is constant, but it's not necessarily eternal. Is eternal. That's eternal. That's eternal, constant, brought about, come by your karmic seeds, and never changes. There's a few. Cessations, space, and emptiness. There's like 3, okay, from you. Okay, we're going to stop there before you get to something I can't answer. And I will see you at 7 o'clock. There's going to be a nice workshop this afternoon. And don't blow it off, okay? Come to the workshop because it's the application of this stuff. It doesn't do any use to come to these classes if you don't use it next week, okay? The goal next week is that you are more aware of the conversation in your mind and you are actively trying to detect devil appearances, which, okay, look, the conversation in your mind all day constitutes two things. Number one, you are trying to figure out how to get rid of things or people you don't like. Number two, you are trying to figure out how to get things or people you do like. All human mental conversation has two subjects. Number one, get something you want. Number two, get away from something you don't want. And the devil is always there in both cases, okay? I will use self-existent means to get rid of this person I don't like. I will use self-existent means to get this goal I want, okay? The only means that are not self-existent is how can I plant a seed to make this happen, okay? Now, if we were all perfect students and we went through these 3 days and we workshopped it together, we practiced, right? You're going to practice talking wrong, okay? You're going to practice saying stupid things like, oh, I would like to meet I'd like to meet someone I can play music with, okay? We need one more, right? And, okay, and then let's see. I should go to different venues in Sedona, or I should contact friends I have in Sedona. Okay, give me a devil or angel, okay, ready? Here we go. I should look online. Devil. I should go to places where people play music and see if I can hook up with somebody. Devil, yeah. Oh, maybe I should call my friend who plays music and might know somebody. Yeah. I should help someone else find a friend who's trying to find one. Angel. Got it? But the fact is, each of us who've been trained for years and years, we still think the old way. So can we put up a devil detector, shishin, in your mind? And then at least object for a few seconds, You can't find another musician, and he's like, yeah, okay. And then you can have your normal thought process, okay? The goal of this week is just to object to it once in a while. Okay? All right, thank you. See you tonight.